Let's get into the action with Harry and Hugo.
Years ago, we had these two organizations in grand finals of Cologne. Now we face elimination for one. 2018, it was big, making it all the way to that grand final. In 2019, Liquid picked up their Intel Grand Slam, Harry. And now one will fall in the play, and the question is, who's it going to be? Liquid fast up the ramp in this pistol round, and they've got two to the good.
Yeah, a couple of quick kills found out of Naf and Patsy, and now Liquid are just going to pump the brakes. Patsy's even fed a little bit more here. This is a nice start for Liquid. Very promising. Maybe even a sign of things to come. It's Patsy getting hyper involved to open up. You know him as a very aggressive player, someone who likes to be at the front of the pack. He's opened up in the pistol. Sin is getting... Sin! He will hold on. All right, hang on. Finally, a dead man at the hands of Patsy. Him and Naf just holding the W key and running down these remaining players. So yeah, Liquid, they're going to lock in this pistol round right here, right now. It's just Krimbo left standing. And... He should be gone. He should be out of there. And he's running away. He's running for the hills. So Liquid are going to open this up with a nice look at the pistol. And I'm excited for Vertigo to open. You know, we kind of saw Liquid, the old Liquid roster move away from this map. Last time the old roster had played it was last year. However, this new look squad, they picked it up back at Blast. They had that win over G2. When you look at like the individual pieces here, for guys like YEKINDAR, obviously he used to be great to watch on this map. When you look at someone like Rainwaker, who came from 500, obviously they actually didn't play this at all. So, you know, it's kind of interesting. You have like a real mixture of experiences and comfortability on Vertigo.
Yeah, it's a team that's trying to build a new identity anyway, so, you know, nothing wrong with expanding your map pool. Liquid coming in with a confident pistol round, and now we have the force up for big. Rifle on Krimbo, those 3 exit kills he gets actually help him buy up. No helmet. He's going to look down ramp with the scout, but Patsy finds Sensei early. Going to be some guns traded here for Liquid, but ramp control remains firmly theirs. And Big, without nades to stop a bomb plant and kits for the retake, there is almost no way to hold on to this bomb site. Luckily enough, the bomb is rotating out, but Big have no one there. They've made a gamble, and it's not gone right. This will allow just a full save, though, for Big. More than likely going to try and keep this M4 into another eco round. But Liquid at least start off Big's pick strong.
Yeah, YEKINDAR's even faking them out. Just keeping the pressure applied over towards ramp. And in doing so, as you say, I think that save is just going to come in, right? Well, you run it back again. You say, look, we have that M4, we have armor, we have pistols, we've got everything we can need to make this next round pretty expensive. So, yeah, Liquid going to get away with this one. And they'll do it flawlessly as well. So, you know, sorry, I was going to say, when you look at Liquid and you look at some of the changes they've made, what kind of, you know, what excites you the most about them?
Patsy for sure, right? Like the worry is when we saw Spirit go through Antwerp and players like Patsy and Siren just came onto our screens and, you know, gave us some of the best rookie performances we've seen in a deep major run as well on a stage. They look so calm, but obviously Spirit fell off massively. You know, not even necessarily straight off the back of losing Dexter, because Wonderful was really good, but a couple of these players like Patsy and Siren look like shells of their former self. But the fact that Liquid and YEKINDAR and Daps believe in a player like Patsy to have some recovery arc, and given what he's shown us that he can do on big stages, I think this is a great pickup. Rainwaker is obviously a little more of the unknown, but from what we saw in Copenhagen last week, he just looked really solid. What Liquid was saying ahead of that pickup was, yeah, a guy who doesn't make many mistakes, who is very young and inexperienced, but seems like he has a solid foundation. And we definitely saw that in Copenhagen. Liquid picked up some massive wins back there, so you know, can't count them out. G2 and FaZe are no easy openers. And for, you know, relatively inexperienced players like Rainwaker, that's not a good example, but it's ultimately okay as OC holds on. Yeah, for me, Patsy's the big one. He has the chance to be not a star player, because obviously it's NAF moving into star roles, but a very effective, aggressive rifler.
See, that's what I was going to say. My most exciting thing is NAF. Really, I think, I'm hoping this is like the limelight moment for him, right? Because for the longest time, he would kind of... he would be like in the safe roles. He'd be managing a lot of stuff. He'd be the one like trying to set up a lot of the util and like tee up his teammates for their success. And in spite of all of that, he would have great numbers. And he was like very low maintenance, right? However, now that there's a bit more of a limelight shot on him, and you need these big performances out of him, especially like what with the desk we're talking about, the numbers dropping down for someone like YEKINDAR. You hope that NAF really does rise to the occasion and kind of relish in this opportunity.
Yeah, he's looked very boisterous in interviews, been cracking some jokes and talking about how he's usually been the youngest player on his team, and now he's one of the more experienced, the guy who has to help bring up some of these younger stars. Woo. Nice try here for Big. They comboed the scout shot with that nade on default, trying to stop the plant, and they do a lot of damage, but they only convert 2 kills. It's all about this gun round here for Big. We talked a lot of Liquid, and that's because it kind of pains us to talk about Berlin International Gaming, at least in the form they're in right now, with an academy team qualifying through the Meisterschaft, forcing roster locks and a 3-man core. And even the game they won in the Meisterschaft with hype, now they have Sensei obviously signed to Big Academy. He's here as well. It's all over the place for Big. When is it not, Harry? We never get this full team. So they're really doing the best of what they've got right now. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, they're hoping they can find success here in their first rifle round. They kind of just rode the waves of losing that pistol, trying what they could with the Hero M4. But this is where Big have got to find their footing. Team Liquid starting this one off with a bit of pressure over towards this B-bomb site while they've got Patsy working up through the short.
Oh dear!
He was on his head! Prosus was like, wait, you're never normally this high up. And then he realized, looked on down. So that's Patsy falling. YEKINDAR will pick up the trade, however. Prosus doesn't get to hang around for a long time. Sensei will. Keeps ramp owned by Big. And that bomb's going to have to back up now. The only real estate that Liquid really have is this little bit of room over towards the B stairs, so it looks like they want to try and use that.
Yeah, Rainwaker needs a sentry. Now, Liquid have a lot of util they could run and execute. They're going to group up together. Rainwaker looks for an over-aggressive Krimbo, but with a flashbang, it's perfect. Liquids came out right after, though, so he gets blinded off, goes back for more, and Rainwaker will knock him off the top. 3-on-3 here with further flashes into B. They need to knock this AWP off the angle. They've succeeded, but so has Sin. 2 kills to the good, and the bomb loose forces Naf's hand, and he must save. Big on the board, and they don't wait long. That's a good sign.
Yeah, nicely done as well, right? Putting a stop to the kind of aggro component of Liquid over towards around that little tag team of Patsy and YEKINDAR. I think that just alleviates so much pressure, right? You kind of saw it facilitated. Sensei was able to take that deep peek down through ramp, confirm that no one else was there, and then it became all too obvious. So nice and put together round there for Big.
I do like the way the Desk framed this Big team as well, in a sense. Like, you can be doom and gloom and pessimistic like we often are with some of the issues Big have had in fielding full rosters. But again, it's another team that's really making the most of their academy squad. You could make that comparison to Mao's NXT, right, and the successes that have gone out there. And then in this tournament, for example, it's great experience for Sin, who recently took over as an in-game leader, allowing Tabson to frag out more. We can see what that freedom can do for players. Mezzi is a great example yesterday on Fnatic being relieved of that role. And obviously, Sensei, another young AWPer from Austria as well, getting a chance to play Tier 1 LAN CS. So I think this is still a great learning experience for Big, even if it doesn't go their way. But man, you always want Cologne to be more for this team. Let's see if they can make it so. Sensei just dodges that AWP shot by accident. And OC's flash will not do a thing because Sensei's holding for the climb up. Liquid in a stalemate, getting given nothing. This will be an A play, so Sensei, all eyes on you.
Yeah, that Molly's signaling that this push might be about to come through, right? And now prosus moves in, trying to play around Sensei, looking through this gap at the sandbags. Nice. He's going to tee up a freebie, and then that allows this little 1-2 punch to come into play. They find that double, they get the bomb away from Liquid. This is now a very, very tricky round, right? You don't really have the real estate. You haven't displaced anyone from top ramp. For all Liquid know, they still have more crossfires to battle through, and they do. Naf gets caught dropping that bomb over, and even though OC is going to trade it, it just doesn't leave them with any breathing room here in the 2v4. Damn. This is a very put-together round, and that was a lovely little interplay in that top ramp hold between prosus and Sensei.
Yeah, really nice safe angle, and prosus has a spot that is almost impossible to clear for the T side, you know, coming through that tiny little pixel gap. Some would call that the Kiyoshima if you're throwing it way back. But it's a nice setup that allows Big to get 2 picks and fall back with no real trade potential for Liquid. As long as Sensei doesn't miss his shot, it's a nice easy round. The fathers of, you know, German Counter-Strike in Tabson, you know, probably the most, if not one of it, if not the most legendary player from the country. It's great to see the form Krimbo's in this year and really the past 12 months. If Tabson's a father, Krimbo's a son, and he's definitely one for the future, if not the present.
Well, man, in this iteration of Big that we have here, God B's the kind of the ghost at the feast, you know, yeah. no longer allowed in the room, as you say. That's down to those locks as a result of it being the Academy squad that picked up the spot from the Meisterschaft.
We've got Tugux, obviously, as the big Academy coach here. And, you know, if we want to make some weird link, ex-Space Soldiers, as Xantares, an ex-big player also was. So there's more and more links there. The big family is large, is what I'm trying to say. There's a plate for everyone at this feast. Nice opener. Boost not needed. Krimbo's trapped out.
Yeah, good spot to be in, though. Well, we had to try slow this down. Rainwaker keeps his eye on it and deals with Krimbo. In a Tetris, OC flashed off the angle, that AWP out of action for now, but it will start to take these aggressive sight lines down the back of the site, and with these smokes in play, you know, he's only got one channel that he really is to hold with that AWP that anyone could have hoped to push through. Becomes all too clear for Team Liquid that this is their round. Patsy could have gone hunting, it could have removed these guns. It looked like a nice play, but prosus is ready for it. So they're at least looking good to get out with the weapons here.
Yeah, keeping both guns means you have a rebuy, so this is everything to Big. If they lose a player, I don't think they would risk going for it. Even then, it's tenuous. But it might just be enough here for Big to justify a reinvestment around a couple of saves. So Liquid won't go hunting too much. The call has been made. We need our own money. No one above 1,300, so Liquid will accept that result. 4-2, a strong T-side start.
If we fly through that. Damn, this is a... Yeah, all right. I see you.
That's a J-Raz
the ops
right
team,
there.
they love a good ang. And so does OC, man. Great round from this AWP, right? Opens up with the pick and a B, and then it's that kill there that seals the deal on the round. So you didn't just get OC opening, but it was very much him that closed the doors on that one. Team Liquid, quick to get their revenge, striking while the iron's hot here. They've come in with a 4th round, and now they're starting to get big at breaking point once again in terms of the money, right? You touched upon it already. That save allowed the reinvestment to come through, but those good graces won't keep up for Big. So this is where Liquid could look to exert some real control over this first half.
Oh no, he's burning! He's burning alive, and he walked back into the Molotov.
It doesn't even look like it's there in his defense, but heat rises.
Yeah, he's trying to get in the cubby. He would have lived. He could have lived, but he did not, and neither will Sensei. As that smoke blooms, I think OC caught a whiff of him, and YEKINDAR sniffs out Tabson on the site, so it's a nice, easy 5-on-2, round locked in, bish, bash, bosh. That's an awkward start for Big. You could say that very much, as prosus gets caught in the Molotov. And it all kind of unravels. And now Liquid feel like they can go hunting. They're not even planting the bomb. Look at YEKINDAR, he's just holding it, waiting, letting these players get space. And now sends a dead man walking. Nice exits for Rainwaker, and Big guaranteed eco now. Liquid know it as well.
Yeah, Big pulling up with the timeout, but you're assuming this is, you know, the focus on that next buy round. It all starts with this, and I think, you know, the moment it's such a weird way to have that round open up if you're Big. No one really knew what the correct response was, and I think this is going to be one of the issues that Big have, right, is just that you're not like one system right now, right? The desk are talking about like the lack of identity as a result of the situation that Big are in, and I do think that's going to be a bit of an issue going forward, right? You know, you have to be prepared for anything to go wrong at any moment, in a sense, and that can be hard to do when you're not super familiar with the guy sitting next to you. So they're going to have to figure this out.
I think Liquid kind of shocked everyone last week at Blast with just how hot they came in. With a lot of naysayers on some of these roster changes, some question marks, but I myself have high hopes for this team here in Cologne. Nice openers for prosus. He's going to arm his roster as well. So Big actually have a shot in what should be a dead round. No armor is the biggest problem though. These rifles will chew through Big. Liquid going to run the execute, and Big have to do something crazy to get back into this one. That's a good Molotov. It will buy a few seconds here. It's going to allow the boost up for tabseN.
Yeah, he's looking for a little angle over the top here. We'll catch someone if they jump up at the sandbags, but OC's ready for it. He scouts out the boost and deals with tabseN. He was meant to be the guy that saves this round, and now with, you know, that gun that was scavenged from mid gone, prosus can't make a play in this.
Ouch.
Krimbo's finished off by Patsy. It ends up being a very put-together moment there. In spite of that double kill over in mid, Liquid immediately regroup, refocus, and they don't drop a man past that point.
Yeah, mid can be a bit of a meat grinder in this map, especially on those ecos where, you know, playing a ramp with a PT50 is not going to net you much. You may as well stack up. So it's good damage, but Big need to capitalize on it now and come in with a gun round, or Liquid will start to steamroll on their opponent's map pick. Will it be a quicker pace? It looks like it. Patsy starting to challenge fast up the ramp side as well. He is just sitting in the war zone, dodging death, ducking under bullets. YEKINDAR's up ramp as well, ready to pounce tabseN. They know about him. Ooh, these flashes might just get tabseN a second chance at life. He doesn't opt to escape. He stays at sandbags with no smoke either if they molly him. Liquid are the ones who cool it off, pushed all the way back out the ramp. The benefit is they've gotten so much util out of Big. We may get curious yet. prosus, that's a blinding shot. Taking out the AWP, forcing Liquid back to B.
Oh, and deaths like that hurt if you're OC, you know. He kind of knew the angle he had to be keeping an eye on, but that second of indecision where he thinks, well, what if someone's walking the smoke? That costs him everything in that fight. And, you know, just leaves you doubting a little more. OC out of the round now. Liquid gonna have to look elsewhere for their way in. They are out in middle, ready to try and wrap in over towards B. YEKINDAR caught through the connector, through elevator, will get put down, and so they lose that mid-wrap, they lose the mid-split component. Naf now dead as well. Mid is entirely gone for Team Liquid. It's just down to this push up the B ramp, and you're not getting in.
Yeah, there's four players.
Look at this B side, man. It's terrifying.
4 players sitting front B. I mean, that's quite a defense here for Big. And the lack of util is not a problem at all. Liquid look pretty one-dimensional after they lose OC on ramp. They just have to walk all the way back. And yeah, Big able to deal with not 1 but 2 lurkers out middle. Naf goes later. That was a very ugly spray as one of the players jumped up on the sandbags in rotation.
And, you know, it's no surprise to me here that you have names like prosus looking real comfortable on Vertigo. I think for a lot of the academy teams and players, or players who came from there, Vertigo was like one of the most played maps, hands down. There would be days where Vertigo was the only map played in the academy leagues. So, you know, this kind of became a bit of a staple map, right? So they are going to have a lot of ideas here as to how they want to approach it, the things they want to try. And obviously, you know, these aren't academy players anymore, you know, or not all, you know, like
some of them.
Yeah, but you know, they've kind of graduated on from that. They've moved through the levels, so...
Welcome to the big league, Sensei.
Yeah.
That's a land peak. YEKINDAR just knocks his head off. Big have all of ramp, though, right now. And tabseN baiting for this. prosus is throwing his nades. They know what's coming. They know this Molotov hints at the hit. But they actually throw a counter molly at the same time. prosus, can't escape. The AWP hounds him down.
That's a much more like determined peak from OC as well.
Yeah.
There was no doubt in that one. There was no worried about the re-peak from the other side of the rafters. He just swings it wide, nails the shot, nails the trade onto that player falling back through short. And now Liquid are going to try and get tricky with it. And Rainwaker with that opener, sure, big. We're taking a bit of a gamble, right? Up and leaving this A side of the map to group in mid and B. But it might not matter after losing your anchor man inside of the site.
The AWP is still here, though. That Molotov might be a problem. Sin's got to reposition. And I like how slow Liquid are taking this. They don't jump the gun in a 4-on-2. They know these rounds are very losable if they walk into the stack. And so at least one player guaranteed gives Liquid the confidence to run into this A site. They have essentially a 3-on-1 at their worst bet. It's not even that. tabseN's not in position yet. Trying to stop them from taking the site. That smoke will do very little. Grenade is good. OC's still going to go for the stick, and with 15 seconds, tabseN, he had to throw himself through. Without that, it's Big going for the retake in a very uncomfortable round, but that's a start. He didn't grab the kit in middle, though, so now Big are on the clock.
Yeah, leaves him with that much less time. YEKINDAR and Naf left to hold this back. I mean, tabseN is the one player here for Big who has tasted success here in Cologne. So can he be the one to propel them back into this retake? A 2v3 as it began at tabseN. Taps on the bomb, hoping that's going to bait a peak. But remember, no kit in play, so time is of the essence for Big. And Sin just wants to save, but Team Liquid are not going to let him.
That's just extra awkward because when tabseN walked back into mid to clear it in the 3-on-4, he stood 1-2 steps away from a kit on the ground, and either no one called it or he didn't notice it. But if he grabs that kit, look, we're at the POV of this entry for YEKINDAR. That's so nice. What a shot. I mean, if he grabbed the kit, it's a very different round. Liquid, though, able to close a 4-on-2, albeit close. Few nades out for Big, but finding very little early. And Liquid have made use of this boost as much as they can. And I can't blame them. The results speak for themselves.
Ooh. Nice pressure out of Sin. That molly's not burning him yet, but he's going to drop the smoke anyway. Gives himself a little escape route and just a few more options over here at close on Tetris. OC scoped up, goes hunting for him, and he will get that trade, but there's another man. tabseN up close on this MP9. Makes noise there, so they know there's another player over towards B, and I think that might influence Team Liquid, right? When you've seen two like that, and then you hear a third trading guns, you're expecting there's a bit of a stack over towards the B side of the map, and we know that's not the case here. Team Liquid will go running into short. Going to be a question as to whether or not Patsy saw them both.
Sensei ran back, but prosus moved forward to get the gun, trying to fake the steps there. Sensei won't know. They're very wide already. There's still a trade kill, 2-on-2. Big managed to make so many of these rounds look winnable, but right now they're out of position, and Liquid have cottoned on.
Yeah, they've pieced it together, but at quite the cost here. Going down to the 2v2. I'm getting planted. Nade from tabseN's going to do that much more damage, bringing OC down to half. Util getting lobbed over just to slow this retake down, buy as much time as possible. You know the money's low, they don't have kits, so you're hoping that any sort of advantage can help you lock this one in. But now YEKINDAR, the man at the helm of Team Liquid, has got to do this all alone. Smoke's still in the way, and Big don't want to run ahead of them. Don't want to try and make this easy for YEKINDAR, but they will come through. Now in the site, YEKINDAR's got them right where he wants them. First man found, and with prosus off the bomb, there shouldn't be time for this. YEKINDAR knows it, he goes swinging. And so he will lock that round in, all on his lonesome.
In-game leader Brain right there doesn't re-peek off that tab. He knows that first kill, and just the pressure of his close position means prosus will never stick that, kit or not. That was YEKINDAR's round in the bag. Really nice clutch up. And I feel for Big, who are just making so many of these rounds, even the eco rounds, expensive, competitive, tight, but it's not enough. Liquid are running away with this game right now. T-side winning the half at the bare minimum. Rainwaker showing some great face as well on this T-side. OC's warmed in. It's not a one-man army by any means for Liquid. Everyone's doing their part. Meanwhile, the two heavy hitters you would like to presume here are for Big, tabseN and Krimbo, bottom of the board, 2 and 3 kills respectively. Took tabseN 6 or 7 rounds to find a kill. Can't stay the same forever. tabseN sees them flooding into middle. There's a good couple of grenades. The molly will stall this play as well. He's going to go through with a flashbang and catch Rainwaker trying to retreat.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game for Big is going to be trying to get tabseN switched on now. He's found himself over here in mid in a lot of these rounds, and Liquid have not given it a super amount of interest in how a lot of these rounds have gone down. So tabseN's kind of been pushed and pulled all across the map, right? Filling gaps. And so it can feel like he's just lagging behind a little bit, right? Playing catch up to where Team Liquid are finding these openings. But this time, they test him over in middle early, and he will answer the call. tabseN secures that advantage for Big. And Liquid pump the brakes. They've got this boost in middle, hoping that a peek comes out from Big over towards construction. But with the man advantage and with tabseN locking this down, I don't know if Big are going to feel the pressure to do that.
Oh, prosus getting curious as well. There's a little wiggle. Patsy is already up further than they're ready for, though, so prosus peeks into his death, unbeknownst to him. Patsy with 2! Full blind. Goodbye, tabseN. 4 on 3. Liquid with all of the world right now. They're in their opponent's spawn at 30 seconds. Naf does get cut down by Sin on the B site, forcing them back into CT and into the AWP. It's suddenly all on the captain in the clutch. He's found a 1v2 before, but this is asking too much.
No, he's got 20 seconds. He needs speed. And that element of surprise that he's got is not going to last forever. Krimbo will get caught here. So YEKINDAR's found his way into the bomb site with the plant. There isn't a nade to flush him out here, but they will just go running at him. Oh, he's going to tuck in time. You don't want to fall to YEKINDAR now. You don't want to leave it in the 1v1. Sin is low, so Sensei's got to slow down, and that gives YEKINDAR time to reposition. Down the stairs, they're in the site. He hears them firing off. YEKINDAR.
Yeah, they're on it.
They're on that bomb, and he can't stop it. It's a wider plant there off of default, and he cannot do anything about it from the ramp side. So Big stay composed. Sensei doesn't overstep the mark critically,
almost,
right?
Almost.
He was close to doing it, but ends up giving his team the nice little berth to play that together in the 2v1.
And the reason YEKINDAR looks a little silly there is because he knows as a player underneath the map, when he makes that rotation in the 3-on-1 over mid, he hears Sin running the rotate from B stairs up towards A. He hears him crossing. So he actually tries to plant behind double box to not get peek from stairs, but then it looks awkward when he takes stairs as his post plant, doesn't it? Sensei kept the pressure on, and Big will not stop. They will not relent. 5 on 3 off the top. Liquid have to fight from the back foot.
Oh, a prosus.
Is that a read? It's got to be a read. It didn't look like he saw anything, but just on the money.
Well, he's aware of the fight that Patsy's looking for on the back of that smoke, right? And Patsy's been very active over here towards ramp, has been trying to harass these big players whenever they look to make moves. So prosus gets his revenge, and I mean already this round for Liquid just kind of grinds to a really jarring halt, right? You went out, you tried to get these openers, and all across the field you've been locked out. That's a very long kill feed. Headshot through the wall, through a smoke out of Sensei, and that's going to lock in another for Big.
Man, Sensei looks great, I've got to say. You know, he's had a couple of awkward rounds, but Big have employed some interesting setups. You know, when he's been in the right position and Liquid walk into him, he's not missing the easy ones. Yeah, he's 6 and 7 right now, but I'm seeing some talent here from the young Austrian. There's a lot of AWPers in Germany. CSGO, of course, and we know tabseN can do it. We've seen Krimbo wield just about every weapon. And of course, Hyped, who was even on this big roster at one point in time, was on the academy team when they qualified through the Meisterschaft as well. So
I like that. I like that we just got to hear like Tabs and
Yeah.
hyping them up a little bit, right? Making sure everyone's feeling engaged and switched on. I think early on, whenever we heard from Big, it sounded a little more frustrated, whereas now there's positive overtones to this. They're recognizing that they really are on the path to recovering this first half. Yeah, there was a point in time where this was 8-3. Looked like Liquid could have had one hell of a T-side under their belts, but now we're hitting this point where Big might make something of this after all. The pistols, however, gonna cause problems over here at B. Rainwaker, double opener on the back of his P250, and suddenly Liquid have got a reason to play in this round.
Yeah, they've actually got armor on Rainwaker to finish what he started as well. He might have to do this almost single-handedly. But 2 already to the good. What have Liquid got for us? It's a call for YEKINDAR to get them grouped up. Would love to see Rainwaker give him his P250 right now. YEKINDAR has nothing. He's on nades. Sensei flashed off. They're coming at him. They're flooding. They're running up ramp. They've got a Molotov rather, but he's pre-smoked. He's hit a shot over it. And Sensei is just styling right now, burning alive, blind, doesn't know. And prosus comes in to sweep it away for Big. He's loving LAN right now. He's having a great time. And Big might split the difference at the end of the half.
Yeah, I do really love how prosus and Sensei have kind of gone about managing ramp as this game's gone on, right? You saw them early on getting caught a little bit more. There was that awkward round where prosus like burns down in the Molotov, and then the whole crossfire they were looking to establish just turned to gravy before your very eyes. But as the game's gone on, they've really nailed down some of these top ramp setups, and I got to give prosus some credit, man. The guy really does, play with balls. Like, he is not afraid to fight you for this ramp control.
Oh, stuck between 2 mollies. Patsy just finds a bubble. They have no idea. If he just peeks out, he gets kills here, but the flash comes too late, and Sensei saves his teammate. Him and prosus, this little 1-2 at the top of ramp has been very enjoyable to watch. Sensei still hanging out here on an island. He can escape with that smoke up. prosus provides it. Looking over for a one-way.
Oh, that's a team flash.
There's so many team flashes.
He just saw someone over the lip of this smoke.
Sin?
They're on the backstab as well, prosus. They're right here. They're underneath him, but he's going to win that first one.
It's going well.
The bomb away from Liquid. Naf dead. And this is really awkward. This is such a stalemate, but in aggro positions at the top of ramp, this man trapped in at yellow is urgently calling for some support, but how's it meant to help? OC battles and brawls his way to 1 from the bottom of ramp, and YEKINDAR knocks out Tabson in the meantime, but they still don't have this bomb, and they still haven't uprooted one of these big cornerstone problems in at the top of ramp, which is Sensei's AWP. Still tucked in at the sandbags, he's waiting.
They've got a molly, and there is a smoke nearby. Krimbo can bail him out, but Sensei, he's about to get burnt. Oh dear, this could be awkward. In it goes, he calls for the smoke. Surely Sensei swings out wide for the fight, and Rainwaker takes him out. No way Liquid are going to win this round. Krimbo tries to make that so. Sin drops the bomb yet again, and with 10 seconds, YEKINDAR, he is out for the count. It looks like Big, who started very slow to this series, might just come in at the nick of time and split the half 8-7. They will. It's not bad at the end of things. We'll see if they can keep it up after the break.
Why didn't he play it?
Press E, click.
Well, fun round of Counter-Strike.
That was crazy.
Put it that way, that was fun.
Oh, man.
We take those.
Okay.
Henny had plenty of time to decide. I mean, I understand not planning front sight,
Yeah.
but
But then the crouch slide, not plant. That wasn't very Tony Hawk.
Yeah, he knows. Fierce teammates, do you say anything, or you just kind of all don't acknowledge
Unlucky.
that? Unlucky.
I don't get the Navi style of tell people what they did wrong.
Sure. Hey,
Unlucky.
hey, dummy, you messed up. You know, you can't be saying that,
Hey, you
man.
low confidence idiot. Look in the mirror. You're ugly.
You can't be saying things like this. Those are your teammates, man. You got to have breakfast with them every day.
I don't know what's worse, your gameplay or you.
And by the way, you stink.
You stink.
Oh, I do still feel bad for Greyhound, though. It's one of those moments where, like, look what they're left with. Alistair, he was making it happen with that op. Now he's got a scout.
Are you saying it was a tactical move? Oh my
I'm
God.
just saying there's worse positions to be in.
This is free for Phelps.
He'll mow down the player coming in, catching him off guard with that one. You know, if you're Greyhound,
So this is where Phelps' identity was born on Mirage.
talk me through it.
He was the guy before Art even was born in Counter-Strike to get into the window every round of Mirage. Did even more than Fur. So that's it on T-sides. Get him there and prosper. This will probably be his most aggressive T position.
They're holding on the ramp. Remember, it's the scout, not the op. 3 of them about to come in. It's a lot of pressure. They're low HP. Liad's
Liad.
still hanging on, but the fallback, Henny. Oh, what? He forgets about the second or thought they both got away.
Okay, well, Alistar's alone,
But he's got the bomb.
yeah, he doesn't have health. He doesn't have health.
But he smoked it.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Smokeland's plump, and let's see what he can do with this. I mean, this is going to be so hard to figure out. He at least got an M4, and time is being delayed, and it's 30 seconds. I mean, they got to come for this. I mean, they're going to wait out the smoke smartly. So it's a perfect amount of time here for Alistar to make something happen. His only 2 rotations are Palace or through connectors, so we'll
this would be
see.
such a nice clutch.
Stages do not get bigger than this.
Well, it looked like Liquid had this one mastered. They were sat up 8-3 at one point in time. And then a new sensei arrived. And alongside him, Prosus, together, they came together beautifully over towards the top of ramp in that first half. Beautiful tag team between the two of them. That injected a little bit of energy into Big. And now they've well and truly salvaged this scoreline, putting up 7 from what could have been dismal for Big to open up on their map pick.
Yeah, and to end their tournament as well, right? Elimination on the play-in is on the line for 2 of these teams. Liquid, CT side, start on dual Berettas for 2. YEKINDAR sets them up. We have Big Creepy crawling out middle. Molly Smoke. And they've got mid for free as far as Liquid are concerned. Well, they're not concerned. You can have it. Big will announce it with that Molotov over the top of Con, and they're going to start running towards the elevator, you'd presume. Sim at the bottom of A split. His timing is very important. Patsy's trying to force it as well, so he'll find out the hard way. That's an awkward spam with a Glock. Somehow the USP wins out, and now Liquid might be ready for the A side take.
Yeah, Big have got a lot of room here. This is one of the more odd pistol rounds you'll see, but that kill over towards A has Liquid worried about middle. The one vacuum, the one empty space on the map right now. Big find their way into a 4-on-4. Patsy's getting challenged, and he doesn't want to risk, you know, just dying untradeably over on short, but he's not given much of a choice. Lovely tap from Prosus, and even though Naf now arrives to take his steed, I mean, it shouldn't come to matter as Prosus can pick and choose these battles somewhat. With everyone coming up ramp, he's just got open sight lines down the short side. Will eventually fall at the hands of Rainwaker. But there was an earlier tag on a YEKINDAR, so Rainwaker's facing the bulk of the pressure here, making these dual Berettas work to open, but it's where this bomb's planted for that makes life miserable. With mid owned, with CT taken, Big are able to go through the motions, fall back into those post plants, and play around that bomb in the 2v2.
Yeah, Liquid still looking surprisingly uncomfortable despite that 5-on-4 and the assurance that, yeah, they have to be crawling through middle and taking that site. But the plant position is so powerful, covered from shore completely. With CT control, they can just face ramp. There's almost no way Liquid can ever stop that bomb plant. So I really like that pistol for Big, even if Sin gets caught at bottom ramp. A decisive call for Liquid, but it's not enough. And now Big up against the force by start strong yet again. It's not Big though, it's Prosus. He has been the big ticket item. 20 and 10.
I love what they're doing over in middle, man. These dry contact walks are a thing of beauty. You're just not giving a lot of info away. And Liquid, if they're not going to play mid, well, then Big are going to take it every damn round. Lovely double from Naf. Don't know how he gets away with that. He has made this round a lot more interesting now. But with Patsy falling over the connector, it's all on YEKINDAR. They don't know about him. He's just seen the smoke out from the bottom of ramp. Tries his hand at the spam. They've got YEKINDAR in a box, back against the wall, but he keeps on going, and he'll deliver. YEKINDAR, a thing of beauty, a vintage moment from the captain, as he delivers a round from nowhere to Team Liquid.
There is no way he wins that. How did Big give it to him on a silver platter? So late to re-peek off of the bomb site. Sin's running up the stairs on Prosus rather on low health. That's so awkward for Big. You are kicking yourself. It all happened so quick. And Liquid win another clutch.
Yeah.
YEKINDAR wins another clutch.
Yeah, that's one for Big. Like, you don't realize you're losing that round until you've already lost the round. Wild, you know, everyone's just going through the motions, trying to get that trade, trying to just play off of each other. They have him sandwiched in. He was trapped. That is not a round that YEKINDAR is ever supposed to win.
No, great flash. I mean, it delayed the guy on the bomb side, I think it was Sin, to let him isolate those fights as quick as he could. But even so, not a round you see every day. And YEKINDAR now, he won't let that dry mid-walk work wonders again. He's here for contact. Smoke start to come through. YEKINDAR's going to drop off. But if they want to flood Con, they've got to get through him.
Well, YEKINDAR playing as that second man, playing off now Fly, right? They just swing, they trade the contacts here. Makes life very miserable for these pistols. You don't know where to look as you come over the connector. And now it's just Prosus left standing. Sure, sits up top of the board for Big. He's given us some fantastic rounds, but a 1v5 on the arm with this Tech 9. And I mean, look at the B side, right? It is just swarming in Liquid players. He's never even allowed to make a dent. So it takes that round from YEKINDAR to reinvigorate Team Liquid. But now they're looking to do good on it, right? Now they're looking to have a bit of follow through after that clutch. You know, rounds like that don't come along every day. And so you are looking to just keep yourself up in this lead, keep Big down in the dumps. And so this is, you know, a little more of a chatty round for Big now. Chance to talk things through.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about the brain power on Big, not just in God B, who obviously isn't here, but in the amount of players who have always been keen to be in-game leaders inside of this organization. In tabseN, Krimbo in the Academy League, Sin now in the main roster. Everyone's given it a go. There's plenty of ideas to put together into that next gun round. It won't be here, though. Oh, they missed the flash. That is awkward, but it might not matter. Overwhelmed by the sheer numbers. Now Big are given 2 guns.
Okay. This was not how this round was. Like, the alarm bells are going off for Liquid right now. You do not want to lose to Glocks, for crying out loud.
Oh.
YEKINDAR tries to make it so. Good for that double. It's all left onto Sensei. Only arm of the MP9, and they will find him. They will regain control and stifle that Glock round that somehow Big looked like they had a good chance in.
Liquid are keeping a lid on it. You can certainly say that. But we counted Big out just 10 rounds in, and they still made this first half interesting. So let's see what their rifles have got. tabseN's still 3 and 13, struggling massively. An awful shame, considering you would hope his fragging potential could increase, given the reins have been passed over to Sin. But not getting that right now. Ramp control attempted to be taken by Big. They've got a couple of one-ways down. Liquid responding with a good bit of utility of their own. But Big will just sneak through the smokes. tabseN leading the fray. Oh, that's awkward for OC. Just gets double peeked off the top. tabseN takes it. YEKINDAR does trade, dropping the bomb, and Patsy falls after not even one. Big break their way through. Heavy cost on health, but a 4-on-2 with no nade to stop this plant.
Yeah, they have mollies. They can delay the plant, but that feels like delaying the inevitable. They would have loved the swift damage that NHE would have provided here with Sin and prosus so low. Instead, it's going to fall to Nafly to win this one with the rifle, and it's just one kill from him. Sin might be low on health, might be but a shot away from death. He still provides a much-needed bit of levity here for Big as they tip the scales to the 3v1. It's all eyes on Rainwaker, and I mean, with the MP9, he feels like he wants to give this a bit of a look in. May as well try, but he's not long for this world. Krimbo puts a stop to it. It's a big pull-up with a much-needed round here, getting their revenge for that little turnaround that Liquid had earlier on the back of YEKINDAR.
Yeah, I have just loved watching the energy of Big in this game, right? They have always been in it, always been focused, and getting very loud. We can hear them just down below us as well. Sensei bringing much-needed energy as this T-side wakes up here in the second half. Liquid try and take back B stairs. It's aggressive. And Liquid meet them there with 2 players. Even a third nearby. Big are now pretty lost in this round with no ramp control, no B stairs. Just walking underneath the map, trying to group up. Liquid are offering ways back in. They're still fighting for ramp. They've got the deep smoke down. So Big just need to wait that out, but we've got what looks like the under ramp smoke for a bit of a one-way in response.
This is something you got to be ready for if you're Liquid, right? This is one of the favorites of Big, is to drop this little one-way and try play around it for these openers. And I think, you know, if you're Liquid and you've got this man advantage, you hear that smoke go out, you've got no reason to look to challenge down the ramp.
But it does, that's what Big want, right? It takes eyes off ramp for a moment, and so Big are going to use that little window to group back for a B hit. They kind of have to go fast, though. You'll see Liquid are re-clearing mid right now. That could even set Naf up on a flank if he's feeling confident. They're going to go for the boost up. Rainwaker in the prying eye, but he knows about this one. I think he's just seen something as well. Flash going to come through for a re-peek, but they're not even facing yet. This is getting a little bit too late, a little bit too close for comfort. Liquid are ready for the hit.
Yeah, YEKINDAR just started peppering Util down the ramp. He slowed them with the molly, he's tagged them with the nade. He's made life very miserable for Big and very easy for Rainwaker up close. YEKINDAR going to swing out wide. He's putting on a real masterclass right now, is YEKINDAR. Not just leading, but top of the charts for Team Liquid. And one of the players who was homed in on by the desk, they took a look at his numbers, they took a look at the stats, and they were saying, yeah, we have seen a dip in YEKINDAR's ability since taking over the IGL mantle, but he's giving us a bit more of a refined game right now, a bit more of a classic YEKINDAR game where he is, you know, still that man in the limelight. Good for multi-kills in a lot of these rounds. Winning many a round that maybe he shouldn't as well. You know, this scoreline would be a hell of a lot closer right now if it wasn't for him. Maybe 2 clutches going his way.
Yeah, and I am just really enjoying seeing Rainwaker anchor as well, just not making mistakes. It seems to be so true. He's not greedy. Always peeking with flashes, always calling for support. Definitely looks like a good teammate to have. Someone that Liquid need right now. What an unlikely hero in their European relocation. Krimbo with a 1 gun does get a trade, but we've got that flank for Naf that we didn't have last round. He's taking his time on it. Big. Everyone is here. Naf is about to find that out.
Oh, no one's looking. No one. Oh, Krimbo with a very fast turn down the ramp to nail him. And with 50 seconds left, Big, now they have an interesting decision here. You know, do they want to follow through with the A play, like looked like the plan originally?
Ooh.
Or do they want to get a bit tricky with it?
It's a cheeky one-way. 30 seconds. They got 1 molly. You would expect it to be thrown out behind this boost. Now they've seen Patsy. He might just die from that. He's going to have to take some damage falling back, surely. Locked into the corner, somehow surviving. They're trying to keep him alive with supporting flashes, but out on short is the real problem. It's YEKINDAR waiting to pounce. Backstab again for the captain. He finds 2, and his team swing off the back of him. 13-9, and Liquid playing some great team Counter-Strike right now. No one making hero plays. always waiting for their team to be ready, supplementing every peak with a flashbang on both bomb sites. And despite Krimbo with a nice couple of entries, it's not going to get big into double digits just yet. First T-side AWP now for big as well.
Yeah, beautiful that you're getting a game out of YEKINDAR like this, and then as you've kind of already highlighted him, behind him Rainwaker, and then Naf, right, in that third slot. This is quite the firepower trio, and it's lending itself very, very nicely to Liquid. It feels like you kind of have a strength everywhere you look to go. If you're big, you've got someone that's having a good time to worry about, right? Whether it's YEKINDAR going in and harassing you over towards ramp in some of these engagements or hitting these weird timings, it's Naf pressuring middle, or it's Rainwaker, as you say, with this very risk-averse playstyle over towards B, where he never gives you like an easy fight, an easy opening. Very complementary to one another right now, a Team Liquid. Seeing a team that are very much on the same page, but there's a fight that we haven't had in a little while. Sensei winning out over OC on the AWP. And so finally Big have got that man advantage that they were looking for. Now what are they going to do with it?
Walking away from B after they throw some clearing utility. 2 CT still static here. And Liquid essentially are gambling that it's not going to be A after that pick. That is not the case. But Big, taking their time, gives Liquid opportunity to re-clear part of the map or re-aggress later. There is an opportunity for Liquid to change their mind, and they seem to be doing it. YEKINDAR coming to fight with Patsy here on short side. This could be a bit of a massacre if Big take too long. YEKINDAR's right around the corner, but Patsy takes one step too far, and Tabson catches him at bottom ramp. Now it is, again, got to be the YEKINDAR show, but TV's turned on.
First man in, first man down, fed to the beast that is YEKINDAR over on short. They throw the AWP his way, hoping that that would have been enough to stifle it, but YEKINDAR just keeps the aggression coming in, switching it up. You never know where to look next, but it's YEKINDAR that you're fighting. 3 in the round. And he's made this nice and easy for Liquid, or so you'd like to think. Rainwaker and Naf have got to finish what YEKINDAR started.
No.
Krimbo
no.
for the plant. The spam will find him, and there simply isn't time for Sensei. He is sent packing.
A 3-on-5, right? Big get the entry with the AWP. They go back to A. They get a free kill on Patsy, who's too wide. And YEKINDAR out of nowhere pulls 3 kills out of the hat.
I mean, this is very, very cool to see, because, you know, it's clear YEKINDAR is a player with a vision for how the game's meant to be played, how the game should be approached. When he first joined this original squad, you know, we had him imbuing a bit of knowledge down the way of Nitro. Then you had him starting a call on some of these maps, right? And then we've had a gradual transition for him now into the IGL role. And you can see the little influences from Jamie. You can see the influences passed down from how he used to play in his last team. And one of the things that I think is cool is there's this idea, I think, that once he gets everyone playing his brand of Counter-Strike, once they're all on the same page, I think we're going to see him freed up to deliver games like this a little bit more. Right? Someone like Jamie who would always put up good numbers while IGLing and AWPing simultaneously. He was... He could do that because, you know, he knew how his team would respond to given situations, and it feels like YEKINDAR's trying to run this team the same way.
This is a change of pace for Big, though. Their backs against the wall right now, and YEKINDAR, well, he doesn't have the AK this time. It's a little harder. That A1S lets him down, trying to convert his spray onto the AWP. Sensei has to be the hero of this round. He's hit some bangers in this map so far. Big can just take this advantage and reset, though. Leave a lurker, or just leave entirely, while Liquid group to pounce middle after the smokes fade. Going to be going back down the ladder for an A attack. OC's so paranoid, though, that they could have walked through elevator, and they could have. So just got to dedicate to one or the other. He'll pick the right answer. And this is all getting re-cleared by Patsy right now. So Liquid, as far as a 4-on-5 goes, they are still pretty comfortable in this round. They're making the right rotation. 3 players backed away. OC needs a multi-kill. He does provide up on top with a 3rd, and the bomb is dropped as well. Big cannot maintain the advantage for long. That's back-to-back rounds. The opening pick has left them nothing, and Liquid sit on map point on their opponent's map choice.
Yeah, this is very well done, right? You know, especially when you think about kind of the ebbs and flows of this game, right? You had a really good start out of Liquid. They went up 8-3. They felt untouchable. Then you had this late in the first half recovery from Big where they started to close the gap. They come into the second half with 1 round between them and Liquid. And since moving on to the CT side, that's where we've really seen the mileage go up for some of these individuals, man. And, you know, for Big, it must hurt because, as you're pointing out, even in the rounds where they're getting those advantages, they're getting the space, they're not finding success in the long term. tabseN opens. Feels like it's been a while since we've really even had to talk about tabseN in this matchup. But he will provide. Okay. YEKINDAR can't see a thing, but that's not stopping him.
Oh, he should
the
be
equalizer.
Dead.
Run up by prosus. They eventually get that trade, and when you see that you've wiped YEKINDAR from the server, you breathe a sigh of relief. Someone who's been so oppressive, just breathing down your necks every step of the way is now gone. But Big's biggest problem has been in finishing rounds, getting them over the line. They've been in spots like this before. They need to hold on, or else their time to shine on Vertigo is over.
Yeah, they just missed a smoke as well, so they've only got 1 down on this bomb site. We've still got Naf out on the wall, and Rainwaker can flash him back into short after this Molotov. Liquid are continuing to play proactive on the CT side, and they're catching more and more players by surprise. Patsy even re-aggresses. This will not be expected. Big are in trouble right now. I can't feel comfortable with this team in these positions, not in this map. Going back is a great way to reset. They leave Sensei with the AWP, and he should be getting this free kill as Patsy tries to rotate out. I think he's got an inkling as well. The bomb is still leaving. He's calling, he has a player trapped.
Yeah, I mean, they should know he's here, right?
Yeah.
They saw the smokes get thrown from this side, and Sensei's been holding it. So, you know, you're acknowledging that maybe there's a tiny timing where he could have crossed out. But yeah, Sensei believes in himself there, holds the line, and delivers that necessary double to stop any craziness happening in the 3v2.
I like that pace change for Big, though. The one thing I feel like has been lacking from this game, just with different in-game leaders, is we've not seen like the signature Big, really heavy execute team. Like, this is a team that I'd love to watch go bottom B and throw, you know, triple molly exec, double smoke, left, right, green. Like that, this is the team that invented, you know, or made standard the left, right, green smoke on this map. We haven't really seen any executes from Big. It's been very contact plays, trying to mid-round, and that's helped by the advantages they've continually gotten, but they've also lost the majority of those rounds. And again, another contact mid-play, but at least Liquid are on pistols this time. It should be fairly easy.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the cool things that kind of happened earlier on in this game where we were seeing Big try these contact walks a lot was how Team Liquid used that against them and giving up the mid space but playing the extremities so heavily. So that's why we've kind of seen Big move away from it. They go back to it in this round knowing that it's just pistols on the other side. So a good time to remind Team Liquid that these mid walks are very much a possibility. prosus. There we go. Only a matter of time. Sneaky little Naf will get dealt with eventually.
Nice.
And so Big, they find that conversion versus the USPs.
They keep their heads above water. That had to be clean though, didn't it? Got a rebuy. Not really seen OC's AWP make any presence in the CT side yet of this map. Not the end of the world. They could have had a fairly good attempt of holding the ramp control. And when they haven't, YEKINDAR's been there to help out. Oh, he got a run boost off spawn since going for it. Full send round the world, and he lands it with style. Gets you some early B control, beats the Molotov, and if Liquid were going for, you know, an aggressive stairs take, that is the perfect counter. So Big still coming in with some cool ideas. And overtime is not an impossibility right now when you consider, you know, Liquid, this buy isn't perfect without an AWP. 1 kit, already low on util. It might be that late resurgence for Big that they showed us on their CT side.
All right, got this crossfire and a third man even over towards the top of ramp. So if Big keep this up, they have got quite the brawl ahead of them here, just looming, and they've got no idea. They're walking right into where Liquid hope they end up. However, YEKINDAR moves ahead first and into the firing line. Sid and prosus with a couple of kills leaves it all on Patsy. Mollied out, he will survive the crossing, but for how long? He's dropped the bomb, and now the rotate from Rainwaker moves in. Looking to reinforce this site. Low HP on Patsy. He can't really be expected to deliver too much more in this moment. But this is the map right here, right now. This 2v2, and Big are gonna hold on. They compose themselves. Krimbo calls for a bit of a slowdown there alongside him and Sensei. They really just look to milk that for a bit of the info, see if they can catch a reaction out of Liquid. That was nice and composed for Big, especially considering that round decides everything on Vertigo. They do well to rise above it.
Yeah, Liquid, making another re-aggress in a close 2v2, 3v3 like they've been doing a lot of these rounds. And like you said, Big read that very well. I wondered how that site setup would have fared. It looked kind of perfect with a bait and switch with Patsy tucked in and his teammate trying to cover from default. But Liquid get a little bit antsy and Big stamped them out. 3 rounds now away from overtime. Liquid use another tack.
Pressure's on now.
Full eco here for Liquid, so just a chit chat.
I liked, the little bit that we just got to hear, because one of the things that you've kind of noticed, and I think this even ties into why we haven't really seen like the AWP from OC, is I think that Big haven't been super active at pressuring lanes on the map, right? They've kind of been hinging on actually Liquid giving them fights as opposed to anything else, and so Liquid are aware of this. I don't think they're feeling a pressure to be hyper involved early on. They're kind of hoping that they can give Big enough rope to hang themselves, as it were, and leave a round down to the wire. That's certainly not a bad way to start. OC with 1, but that's the end of the line for the Deagle. Little double boost over at the crane.
Yeah, it's cheeky, but Big with numbers here is the reassuring aspect of this. Although I say that, Nade's getting tumbled and fumbled around. The scope here should be able to grab a free kill, and they start swinging. The rifles will finish the job. Clean as can be for Big. And Liquid really have a rifle round separating them from overtime. Yeah, force buy at 30 if they need it. But this is not the comfortable close that Liquid would have wanted.
No, not by a long margin. And this is like a little different as well to the matches that we've seen Liquid play already, right? We're obviously we're back in Copenhagen. They faced off versus squads like FaZe and G2, right? And it's like there, I think if you're Liquid, you're under this idea of like, yeah, we're still implementing our system. We're gonna play our own game. You don't really have like expectations on yourself in those matchups, but here versus Big, versus a Big that aren't fielding their full 5-man roster and they don't have their usual coach. This is one where Liquid do have pressure on themselves. They should be winning this. This should be the proof that the system's, working or building in the right direction. And we're not getting that right now.
As a desk frame, this team, of Big, this is a team with no identity. Fact of the matter. Sure, there's synergy between certain players, there's familiarity, but this isn't even a real roster right now. It is a culmination of 2 and a bit squads. So yeah, it's a shame for Big, but man, are they making the most of this opportunity. Another run boost for Sin. It's going to go flying, and they're ready for it. Naf picks him out of the sky, plucks his wings. You could even say that Sin flew too close to the sun, Harry. That wax gets melted.
Well, now for Big. Gonna go the way of Sisyphus on this one, man. It's pushing that boulder up the hill. They've been doing it this whole damn time. They've got to keep on going. A man down, though. And it's not even about like who you've lost. It's more so like how you lost them, trying to get this real estate over towards B. Now you don't really have any claim towards this side of the map. It somewhat forces your hand to keep committing up the ramp here. Prosus and Krimbo look to retake this space, but this is going to leave big split, 2-2 between either side of the map. These guys up ramp are just trying to draw attention, but Liquid are about to confirm that ramp is clear, and so in a moment's time, Liquid will have all the info.
Oh, this is so close, but Rainwaker's ready for it. On that smoke spam, Liquid in a 5-on-3, and while it's been big, who have had trouble closing advantages, that is not Liquid's issue. 25 seconds, the bomb is here. It has to commit, but Liquid is still lighting them up. Full blind on the screen. OC trades tabs in the middle. It's down to this hit. It's do or die. It's probably the latter. Krimbo last to fall, and Liquid do it. It's YEKINDAR, the Latvian lifter, to put them on his shoulders and breathe a sigh of relief as Liquid close out a map to avoid elimination.
Yeah, it didn't just keep his team composed, but had the individual form to back it up, did YEKINDAR, and then in that final round, you saw it come full circle. It was the rest of the gang that rose to the occasion. Liquid now sitting...